So welcome everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. Nice to meet a lot of you for the first time. Again, I'm Rodrigo Hernandez. I'm the Club Services Manager. Some of you may have met me if you attended the RAC meetings a few weeks back. For those of you that didn't, no worries. This is your first time meeting me. Again, I'm here to support your clubs here with NorCal. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started on the presentation. If you have any questions as I'm going through slides, feel free to raise your hand and we can cover anything that comes to mind. All right. So here's a little bit of the agenda today. We'll go over the overview of the services. I'll talk a little bit about the grants program overview, and we'll have a Q&A at the end. Again, you can stop me during any slide. You don't have to wait till the end. So club services. The club services department is focused on supporting club leaders, board of directors, presidents, and volunteers. The mission is to enhance the operational and administrative excellence of our member clubs. Our mission is to provide strategic support, resources, and best practices that empower clubs to operate efficiently, grow sustainably, and continue to deliver accessible, positive football experiences to their communities for many years to come. By fostering strong organizational structures and sound administrative practices, we aim to elevate the overall quality of soccer in Northern California. Club services areas. So these are just some of the areas that I've been looking into as I've come into this role now about a month and a half. I know that it's going to expand into many more areas of running a club, but initially, these are some service areas that I'll be providing support with. So club administration support, assisting club administrators with best practices, resources, and education in the day-to-day tasks of running a club. Club governance, providing resources and best practices focused on club leadership. Membership management, support with onboarding new clubs, guiding clubs through NorCal standards and expectations. Compliance and risk management, guiding clubs with local, state, and league regulations. Club development resources, helping clubs access resources and development opportunities, including club consulting, grants, and educational resources for leadership and administration. And lastly, communication and engagement, providing templates, best practices, and tools to help clubs effectively communicate with their members, staff, and communities. So going back to number 3 under membership management, so something we'll be starting in later this month for new NorCal members that joined for 24-25. If any of you are on this call, this is great for you to listen on, but we'll roll out an onboarding first year check-in with all new clubs. So there'll be various staff members from NorCal involved in that, but we'll be sending more information to our new clubs that just joined for the new year about this program. It'll be a great way for us to get to know how things are going, some of the struggles that clubs had, and how we can provide some support in those areas, strategies so the clubs can grow. So again, we'll be sending more information around that. And then something else we'll be rolling out, hopefully by Friday, I'll be able to send an email to all club leaders, is a club consultancy program with myself. So any club that has any current issues that they'd like to talk about, any struggles, that's what I'm here for. I'd love to have those conversations, see how I can support your clubs with strategies so we can continue to help your clubs to move forward. So again, more information on both of those areas later this week. And again, as I mentioned, these are just 6 areas. There's many more areas to running a club. We all know that. If any of you have any ideas or you don't see any areas here, but you'd like more information about specific things, please feel free to contact me. Again, I'm here to be a resource and develop resources and look into any educational opportunities within these 6 areas, plus more that will be coming out in the coming months and year. Do we have any questions so far? No? Okay. I will continue to move forward. All right. So the NorCal Grants Program. So the application opened up as of October 1st. There was an announcement in the newsletter that went out. So again, the NorCal Grants Program was established to support the ongoing development and sustainability of its member clubs, particularly those serving economically disadvantaged communities. Recognizing that resources and education are critical to the success of youth soccer organizations, NorCal created this program to provide financial assistance for clubs towards competition credit and towards purchases for many NorCal partners. So the first two bullet points, which were included already, is the competition credit up to $2,000 per club based on club size, and the partner credit, again, $2,000 per club based on club size. Some of the new areas we are expanding into are parent education resources, coaching education, which is free NorCal hosted events for all coaches and clubs, club development resources, and referee education. So these are some new areas that the grant is covering. There's more information on the website. During the application, we have one in English and Spanish. You're welcome to fill out whichever application makes best sense for your club. During the application, towards the end, you'll get to select from priority in terms of most important to least important, all these different areas. So when the grants committee meets, we can identify all the areas that clubs, are asking for support for and allocate funds towards as many applicants as we are able to support. But again, these are some new areas for the grants. Any questions on this? No? All right. The criteria for the NorCal Grants Program. So the first step is complete the application. It's due by 5 p.m. on October 31st. Again, the NorCal Grants Committee will meet and we will evaluate all applicants. And then once we notify those that were selected on Monday, November 11th, there will be a consultancy meeting with myself where we'll discuss the areas for growth and strategies for you to receive your full grant award. And one of the things that changed with the criteria is that we no longer are asking clubs to send 50% of their coaches to attend coaching education courses to receive the grant. You just have to complete the 3 items above, and then you'll be notified of our decisions by Monday, November 11th. Questions? No? All right. And later this month and in November, we'll be rolling out a club services fall webinar series. So we're still working on finalizing those areas. It more than likely will be around volunteer management and fundraising. But again, we're finalizing those details. We'll share more information in the coming weeks via email with all club leadership. It'll just be a great way to listen from professionals working in these areas around different aspects of running a club that could be beneficial to each club in how they want to run different aspects. So I know that I've been meeting with clubs the first few weeks. One of the things that's come out has been volunteer management. It sounds like a lot of clubs need support in that area, which is great. I'm here to support you with that. And we'll also have hopefully a speaker for this in the coming weeks. But again, we'll be rolling this information out via email once we finalize those details. Again, here's my contact information. I'm your go-to for anything specific around your club, whether you're having issues, anything related to, conflict, whatever it may be. I'm here to provide guidance. I'm here to support you, making sure that your club continues moving forward. I'm not here to be the bad guy and, put you down. I understand. I used to run a club, volunteer-based. I understand how both volunteer and those that may be half volunteer, half paid, or all paid. I understand the different nuances of running those clubs, and hopefully I can support your club in being able to, quash some of those struggles that you may be having, if any. But again, contact me anytime, call, text me at this number, email me. I'm here to be your resource for anything related to your club operations off the field. So that's my portion of the presentation. Yes, we'll be Thomas. Yes, we'll be putting up the presentation and this recording on the website because I know not everyone was able to attend. If you have any questions, I believe I gave everyone the feature to speak. So you are welcome to ask questions in the chat and I can answer, or feel free to unmute yourselves and talk. Any questions?
Hi, Rodrigo. Not a question. Jack Rozier from Magic here. Just want to welcome you. Excited that there's someone in this role now and steering the ship, and excited for you and for all the clubs that you're going to support. So,
thank you, Jack. Appreciate that. And I'm excited. I'm excited to bring the experience I've had the last. I've been working in soccer administration for 6-7 years, but mainly running here the Mission Youth Soccer League. And yeah, it was a great experience. And now hopefully, as you said, I can bring that experience into this role and support all the members in NorCal. So thank you, Jack. Nice to meet you. Anyone else? And something I did want to share is that, let me go ahead and share my screen again. Oh, yes, Carter, go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Quick question. I was just curious, given your new role, which is great, is there any support or resources provided for newly appointed DOCs?
So I actually had a conversation with a club a few weeks ago who had the same question in terms of resources. Like they were very specific on what they wanted. They wanted like job descriptions or hiring process. So in terms of that, I could provide resources around sort of best practices. Now, if you're looking more for specific like on-field type of development, that I can connect you with someone on staff to support you with that if that's what you're looking for. But anything regarding sort of more of the administration aspects of a DOC, job description, how did the hiring process, all that, I'd be happy to provide support you with or connect you with someone else that's more related to the on-field type of duties.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. And something I did want to share real quick was on our website. I'm going to share my screen again. So we revamped the club development page. So under education, you can click on club development and you can click on club development resources. So this is our new page for resources. We revamped it. So we're still working, adding much more to it. But for example, if you had a question about human resources, you can click on this. And on the left-hand side, this applies to all pages. You can click on some of the topics we've rolled out. Again, we'll be adding many more. So if I had questions about employment law, I can go down here and find a resource. And for example, if you have any ideas that you need support with, feel free to email them to me and I can look into them, provide resources, because it's probably many more clubs have the same question you have. So again, you can click on, hiring, staff development. We haven't added anything there, but we're working again to create a more robust process for all these pages. Again, these are all great. Click on any of them. You'll be able to find hopefully the resource you're looking for. But again, this is under education, club development, and club development resources. So that's just a new page we've rolled out. Any other questions? Well, for my end, that was my brief presentation on sort of what my role, what I'll be providing support with. Again, I'm happy to stay on this call for anyone else that wants to chat, or if you just want to set up a one-on-one and chat about your club specific needs, feel free to reach out. I'm here to be a resource again. Cool. Want to see any other questions? I don't think I'm missing anyone. No. All right. Oh, Mike, let me go ahead and unmute you. Let me see. Give me one sec. It looks like you have the feature to unmute yourself, Mike. Don't know. Let me see if I can. Here. There we go. You should be able to talk now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries, you're good. You're good.
So the HR stuff, is that going to have like best practices on hiring, paid time off, sick time off, paid overtime, things like that?
Yes. Yep. I'm looking more into those areas because I've had a few clubs ask me specifically some of the questions you just asked. But yes, those topics will be covered, and hopefully I'll roll some of that by next week in terms of best practices for all those different areas on hiring processes.
Okay. And what about like a employee handbook?
Yeah, we have. I mean, I can easily put up. I have a lot of saved handbooks from the past from other clubs that I've used them, like including my own club. I could upload those because they're up on websites, so you can easily look into how they develop theirs and then develop one that's specifically for your club that best fits your community.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, Mike. Let me see. Andy, I'm gonna need your help with this question. I had Rachel ask, what is the relation of club services and member services department? Is member services under club services?
Yeah, I can take that one,
Cool.
Rodrigo. So they're linked. So the membership coordinator at NorCal is Rick Fullerton, and his work focuses a lot on sort of the status of a club's membership. So new clubs coming in, he manages the whole application process for the board, for super rec clubs, for member clubs. Probation reviews when clubs come off that first year of probation as well. And then various other projects throughout the year related to the club's membership. So another one of the projects he works on is the RAC meetings and working with the RAC chairs. Rodrigo's work will be very educationally focused, and helping the clubs with some of the areas that he's outlined this morning, helping the clubs operate better off the field, more efficiently, improve what you do so that you can continue providing football at a local level and make it accessible to as many kids as possible. So they'll complement each other. One is not under the other. They both report to the board of directors. Rick is a part-time employee and Rodrigo's a full-time employee. So there'll be, as we move forward with this department, there'll be a little bit more regularity on the educational offerings from Rodrigo.
Thanks, Andy.
And Rodrigo, on the last question about an employee handbook, so we have an employee handbook at NorCal. We can share sort of certainly the template, the framework of that. We can adapt it so that clubs can have a framework to build off, and adapt it to what suits the Reality TV club. There's quite a lot of stuff in that employee handbook that we've developed over the last couple of years that is mandatory by the state of California. So I think a lot of that just translates to any small business or non-profit organization. So yeah, that's definitely a resource we can make available.
Perfect. Thank you, Andy.
Can I jump back in if I might?
Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Andy, that sounds great. I'd love to take a look at that. Do you guys also have maybe anything for like nonprofit operation, like onboarding new board members, or maybe like a base set of good to have policies and procedures, anything like that?
So from the NorCal perspective, I can let Andy answer that in terms of NorCal specific, but from my end, yeah, I've been working on a lot of those documents. Hopefully I'll upload them by the end of this week or early next week, but that's also been another main question from clubs, sort of the onboarding of new board members. And I mean, I went through that myself here with my board, my final 2 years. So I have some documents around sort of job descriptions, the best processes, the best practices to do that, how to make sure everyone's on the same page, to make sure your board is cohesive going forward, because that's what you want for your club. So I can provide that as well, Mike.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much.
No worries.
Yeah, that'll be a big focus of Rodrigo's work, is that helping clubs with nonprofit governance and compliance. Most clubs in NorCal are nonprofit organizations, and we want to make it as easy as possible for those organizations to know what's required of them, but also, a big part of this is sharing best practices and making sure everyone's got the tools and resources available so they can run those nonprofits as well as possible.
Thanks, Andy.
Hey, Rodrigo, quick question.
Yes, Jacob.
So I believe it may have been mentioned in the RAC meeting, or I read in your announcement of your hiring, you talked about potentially be an arbiter, or like you can come in and be like a mediator between clubs if there are issues. So I'm wondering, do we just follow up with you to schedule an appointment to kind of air grievances, and then you kind of talk about what the next steps would be? And then if things are you like, can you enforce things, or things need to be escalated above you? And then how would that process work?
Yeah, so the first step would be to have a chat with me and just, sort of look at what the issues are, for me to understand what, where your club's coming from, and then from there strategize on what next steps would be. Obviously, from there I'd have to get other NorCal members involved, especially if it's my first time, just making sure that, we're helping you out, we're following processes. But yeah, I'm here to help with mediation. That's part of my role. Whether, it's a club being put on probation, I'm supporting them with new growth strategies on, paving a positive path forward, or if there's clubs that are having issues, whether it's field access, someone coming into their space, whatever it may be, multiple staff members are involved in those conversations. But yeah, I'm your point of contact. If there's an issue, like I said, let's have a conversation. Let me hear you out, and then we can drive forward from there. Andy, don't know if you have more you want to provide there in terms of Jacob's question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the question, Jake. Rodrigo's role is definitely going to be an advocate for the clubs. We have to be cautious about putting him in situations where he has to make a judgment call on a dispute. That's not the role. If there's an opportunity to mediate a situation without it going to a PAD committee, without it going to the board of directors for a judgment call, then Rodrigo's involved in that. And ideally that can happen without the dispute going further. If the dispute needs to go further, it can't be mediated on the ground level, then we obviously have the PAD committee. We have disputes going to the full board of directors. And that's where they've got to make a judgment call, and that would not include Rodrigo. We want to keep Rodrigo's work very, very his relationships with the clubs very positive as an advocate for the clubs, and looking to proactively help clubs improve their situations, as opposed to making judgment calls on disputes.
Makes sense. Great. Well, I appreciate the responses, and Rodrigo, look forward to working with you, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate it. Anyone else? See no more questions in the chat. If anyone's trying to speak and you're not able to, feel free to drop it in the chat so I can unmute you. If there are any other questions. No? Fair enough. Well, if we don't have any other questions, that wraps it up from my end. Again, I'll stay a few extra minutes if anyone wants to stay on and chat or have any specific questions. Otherwise, you're free to continue with your days.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for attending again. Appreciate it, and look forward to meeting a lot of you.
Thanks, Rodrigo. Nice work.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Carter, I was going to say if you want to send me an email or provide your email here in the chat feature, I can follow up with you just to discuss specifically what needs you need around your DOC. So either I can support you with that, or I can connect you with someone that does more of the on-field type of work with DOCs.
Okay. And yeah, for transparency, I'm more thinking about how to start building actually an administrative
Okay.
type of database or function. Because again, yeah, I'm the DOC, but it's clearly more administrative right now with the club I just transitioned into.
Okay. And what club is that?
MSC United Bay Area.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll follow up with you after this call via email.
Sounds great. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Again, for those of you still on the call, I'm happy to hang out if you have any other questions or want to chat specifically about anything. Jesse, I see you're unmuted. Don't know if you're talking because I can't hear anything. If not, no worries, but just wanted to let you know if you are talking. I don't hear anything on my end. All right. If there are no other questions, I'm going to close down this. I'm going to close down this webinar room. But again, if you have a question, feel free to drop it in the messenger feature and I can answer it. Or if you want to chat one-on-one, feel free to send me an email and we can schedule the time. No. All right. Well, then everyone's still left on this call. Have a great day. Again, thank you for attending, and reach out if anything comes up. Take care.